I had like my dark night of the soul experience when I was 13, and it really
Was it Anuska that you had?
a dark night of the soul.
What is that?
It's kind of like when you're in an area of your life where it pushes you to break out of what you usually know. Like usually dark night of the soul is like when somebody passes away or when you have to make a drastic huge change in your life that literally makes you realize that everything that you thought your life was or the thought your life was going to go is not that way. So, when you look it up, they're very specific, but I feel like everything is about the higher perspective. So it's just a huge shift that happens in your life that forces you to kind of get out of your comfort zone and kind of like make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you got to do what's best for you in a situation when everything around you is giving you no's and there's like no way out. You have to find a way out of the darkness. You have to find the light.
If you
So
were 13 years old when this happened,
yes.
what in the
Yeah.
hell was you dealing with at 13 years old that you was caught in the dark?
So my parents were going through a divorce at that time, and they kind of put me in the middle of it, and they kind of dragged me through their whole divorce process, which was like between 3 to 5 years. And it was, I have an understanding about it now, right? They were each going through their own thing. They thought that they each were doing the right thing, but I feel like I would have been a good therapist if I would have went, but whenever you do something just for the kids, it never ends up well. They kind of were in competition with each other and they like kind of like put me in the middle of things. And it's kind of like nobody was trying to hear what I wanted to say. And there was just a lot that happened. I don't really want to get into too much detail about it, but there was a lot that happened that affected me in a negative way. Like I ended up getting depressed. I ended up having anxiety. I ended up like feeling like I didn't have anybody by my side, not even the two people that, were supposed to be there for me. But again, I understand now everything. So, it was really hard for me to kind of, at that age, it was hard for me to feel like everything was going to be fine because everything was just, it was getting worse and worse and worse at a certain point where I felt like I wanted to just leave. Like I didn't want to be here. I was like, this is impossible. I'm so young. I can't do anything about this. And everything is just getting worse and worse by the time. So I really had to push myself and
What
kind
was
of like,
what were you more
um,
what were at 13 years old, I can relate to everything you just said. But my question is, at 13 years old, who actually had full custody or joint custody?
so it was my mom at the time. And then me and my mom kind of got into a little kerfuffle. And, she kind of was like, oh, go be with your dad, go stay with your dad. And I was like, okay, fine. Like at that point, my dad was like my favorite person ever. Like I was the oldest, so it was just I looked back like my dad. So he was, like, look, you're fine. I'm just gonna go over there, right? Now me going over there, this was like right after they split up. So me going over there, my dad was kind of like, oh, like, she's here. So, like I want you to stay. I want you to stay forever. Like I don't have any of you guys. Your mom has them. Like I want you to stay here. And I was like, yeah, but I want to be with my sisters. I've always felt like I was always a guide to my sisters, and I was the oldest. I felt a sense of responsibility for them, and I've never been without my sisters. Like it's never happened. He wanted me to stay there, and I knew that me and my mom just got into a little argument, and it was just like a little whatever. I knew that it wasn't anything drastic, but again, they were both going through their own stuff that they weren't able to see how them kind of like who's right, who's wrong, where did she get to stay? She should stay here, no, da, 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 was really affecting me because all I wanted to do was be with my sisters. That's all. I just wanted to be wherever they were at, and I was vocalizing that, and I was saying that. I mean, and nobody was trying to listen. Everybody was just like, "No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right."